Welcome back to Conversation with Buddy. I'm your host, Buddy Puckett. Thank you so much for being here today. Hey, yesterday was Christmas. I hope you had a great day with your family. And as you gear up for the new year, I want you to think about what 2025 looked like. Maybe some goals that you wanted to hit, but maybe you didn't. What would 2026 look like if you actually hit those areas of your faith, family, finance, fitness, and then maybe partly your future? Now, we can't plan out our future because God knows the plans of how that goes. But in Proverbs, it says, man plans his steps, but God directs the path. So that would be my prayer for you, that you actually implement some things that you know that you should be doing. So anyway, we're going to get to our guest. I'm really excited about having this lady on here today. She's I would call her a family friend, and we've known her for at least 10 or 15 years. And she drinks cold brew coffee too, by the way. So if you like coffee, I like hot coffee, but she likes cold brew. So without further ado, welcome Emily Scheuble. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. So this is your first podcast.
It is.
You know, I just assumed you had been on podcasts before. Like this would be, not that you have to, it's not like you had to be on a podcast to be here.
Yeah.
But I just assumed because you're pretty well known.
Yeah, I feel like it's been something I've always thought about trying.
Yeah.
And just haven't had an opportunity yet. So
Okay.
when you reached out, I was like, heck yeah, let's
do
it.
Yeah. Well, I had your mother on, gosh, a year and 4 or 5 months ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was like what? In
Was
the
it
summertime?
June.
Yeah.
June. Yeah.
Yeah.
June. And man, what a blessing to have her on there. I know that she had passed away in September of 2024. And we'll talk about that a little bit as we get into it. I want to hear kind of your journey since then, but it's not about necessarily about that. This is about Emily. Yeah. So let's dive in real quick. I want to know more about you, Emily. In fact, last week, well, actually, my wife said, you should have Emily Scheuble on there. I'm like, okay. It's funny. That same day, you were crossing the crosswalk going to Isaac's.
Oh, nice.
I was going to honk at you. That would be really mean. So I didn't. But
no, you could have.
It's funny how my wife said that, and then I see you.
Yeah.
Can't make that stuff up.
Yeah. Just a little alert.
A little alert.
Right.
Exactly. So, well, let's talk about you. I want to hear, and you gave me lots of things to ask. I'll have lots of questions for you.
Yeah.
But I want you to go back and just tell me, where were you born? Tell me about mom and dad growing up, and you have one sister, right?
Yeah. An older sister.
She's older. You're the young
Yeah, they
one.
stopped at perfection. So
They stopped at perfection.
I use that line from my dad. He's the youngest of 8. So that's what he says about his parents. So I just decided to take that on
You
too.
stole that from your father.
I did.
Okay. Well, Bob will appreciate that, I'm pretty sure. So they stopped at perfection.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were you born?
So I was born here in the 503.
Yeah.
Been born and raised. Did a small stint in Corvallis for 1 year.
What?
Like when I was early 20s. And then when I was in YWAM, I was in Australia, Indonesia, and the Philippines, in Maui. But besides that, I have always lived in Salem.
I'm going to jump forward, then we're going to jump back.
Yeah.
You were in YWAM, and you went to Australia?
Yeah, that's where my discipleship training school was.
What year was that?
2016.
Okay. And my Emily, funny, Emily and Emily.
Yeah.
She did 2018 in Australia. On the other side,
Yeah.
the DTS in
Was it Perth?
Perth.
Yeah. Cool.
So where was your outreach at?
My outreach was Indonesia and the Philippines.
Wow.
And then I did a secondary school in Maui.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. How cool is that?
Yeah, it was
Are you
really
still part of YWAM?
I'm not, but I do have a heart. Like, I love seeing people still investing in it. And I have a lot of friends that are on staff and helping lead schools and whatnot. So I still am very much aware of what's happening in that world, but I'm not specifically in it.
Okay. Well, that's cool. It was a first season, for a reason.
Totally.
All right. So you grew up here. What schools did you go to?
I first started going to Pradham
Okay.
because lived out that way towards Silverton.
Yeah.
And then I went to Fay Wright Elementary School, and then Judson Middle School, and then Sprague High School.
So your mom and dad both worked at Judson.
Yeah. So I think it was my 7th grade or 8th grade year, my dad then moved to Judson. He was previously at Crossler.
Okay.
So my 6th grade year, my sister and my mom and I were all under the roof at Judson.
No kidding.
And
That's
then
funny.
I think the next year, my dad might correct me. It was then my mom, my dad, and me. So
that's funny.
Yeah, we always had some family there.
I think I remember, because what year did you graduate high school?
2014.
Okay, so you're a year older than Emily.
Yeah.
Okay, so Emily was a year younger, and your dad was, I think, your volleyball coach.
Yeah, and then also I think Em and I played basketball together at one point,
probably.
like early on, like when we were young.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Too funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. And then you went to Sprague High School. Mm-hmm. What'd you do for sports in high school?
I played soccer, basketball, and track.
Okay. You're a 3-sport athlete.
Yeah, all the time.
Which one do you love most?
That's a hard answer.
Yeah.
I'm naturally better at basketball.
Okay.
And I like the speed of basketball and the intensity.
Okay.
But there's something about soccer that's really awesome.
Yeah.
I mostly did track just to like keep running around. And
it's funny, you love basketball and soccer, but you mostly did track. Is that what you're saying?
No, like I mostly did track to just be moving around.
Got it. I hear what you're saying. You mostly did
something.
Just to do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But yeah, basketball would probably be where my heart's at.
Tell me about your mom and dad. I know you're really close to your mom and dad.
Yeah.
At least that's my perception.
Yeah. We have a really close family.
Tell me about mom and dad. How did mom and dad impact you growing up? What was that like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about
I think
that.
our like family dynamic, we call ourselves the Fab Four. It's my mom, my dad, and my sister and I. I feel like we've always been pretty close. The impact that they've had, I wouldn't be like who I am without them. Their faith, the way that they carry themselves is what I've learned from, and all of those things like impact the way that I live my life now. And so, yeah, I think one of the things that comes up to my mind, this wasn't like early childhood, but something that was super impactful was in early stages of my faith. Like I've always grown up in the church, and I was baptized when I was 8. Like we grew up in the church.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
came out of the womb and boom, church.
Yes, exactly. And always believed there's God. Loved going to church, but didn't have my personal relationship with God until like I was 18 or 19.
Wow.
Like truly like friendship with God.
Where's your own? I mean, you're 8, you're getting baptized. You must have believed something,
Oh,
but
yeah,
at what
100%.
levels? Like, but wasn't till 18 or 19 where it became yours?
Yeah. There's a bit of like my faith was, I was like on my parents' back. Like I believed it, didn't know quite how to do it.
Yeah.
But it was one night I was going through some hard stuff and I was crying out to the Lord. It was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I need you to tangibly comfort me because I feel so distressed. And minutes later, my mom walks into my room and she says, God woke me up to check on you. And that was like such a pivotal moment of my faith, where it was the first time that I felt like the Lord heard me, where he answered my prayer like literally immediately. And he did give me comfort through my mom, and she would lay it on my bed. She always would give me back scratches, and she like prayed over me, and I fell asleep while she was praying over me. So like that was like, that's also encapsulates how they loved us, and they like allowed the Lord to move through their parenting.
Yeah.
Even though again, at that point I was older, but that's just how it's been. And yeah.
Would you say your mom and dad's always been solid in their faith? Like that's something you always remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What church did you guys grow up in?
At Liberty Christian Church.
Okay.
So my parents started attending there, I think when I was 3.
Oh, wow.
But they're the parents where, you know, we come down in the morning and they're doing their Bible studies in the living room and praying and
leading by example.
Yeah. And they were leading groups and really involved in the church. And so that's what my sister and I saw constantly.
Tell me about your relationship with your sister. She's the older sister. Is she bossy? Is she nice? Of course she's nice, but...
Yeah. My sister and I are truly best friends. I think growing up, there's obviously some like...
I'm your boss.
Butting heads and...
Sure.
there's sometimes I'm like, oh, this is my sister trauma. Like, for instance, we had a little above ground pool, and my sister would, she would want to play the game Jaws, and she would be the shark that holds me under the water and thrashes me around. So do I like swimming in pools by myself? Even now, no, because I am slightly afraid there's a shark in there.
No kidding.
Because she traumatized me. But besides that kind of stuff, and besides the time where she thought she was too cool for me, really, since we got into high school, like my sophomore and her senior year, we're 2.5 years apart.
Okay.
That's when we really started becoming like really good friends. And now to this day, like we are so tight and we encourage one another. We pray for one another. We like spiritually battle for one another. And we're constantly there. She does live in Uganda, so she's not physically here, but we try to be really intentional with like FaceTiming and messaging just like throughout the day and just filling in each other where we're at and what we're going through.
It's interesting. Sometimes being that far away actually makes you become more intentional. I mean, your family could live across town and I hear people all the time, I haven't seen my brother, sister, mom, or dad for months.
Yeah.
Well, they live across town. I know.
Yeah.
But then you guys are more intentional. So how often do you guys talk? Text?
We text every day.
Every day.
And then we probably video. We try to connect through video probably 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like once a week, or if it's super busy. She is a mom of 2.
Okay.
And so sometimes the days are a little crazy. So, and there's like a 12-hour difference.
Okay.
So it's usually like our morning or our evening. That's never really midday that we're able to talk.
Right.
So one of us either has to wake up a little bit earlier or stay up later.
Yeah.
But we used to try and schedule it like, hey, let's talk this day and FaceTime. And for me, that felt like almost too much pressure.
Yeah.
Because like, what if I don't feel up to it? Because we always have like in-depth conversations when we'd schedule it because it wasn't happening as frequently. And so I said, can we try and be more spontaneous? Like whenever you want to call me, just call me. And if I'm available, I'll answer. And like vice versa. And that has actually led to more consistent contact because it's not this like buildup of like, okay, I have to have a conversation for 2 hours and fill her in on all the things because we haven't talked in a couple weeks on the phone. Like actually, it's now just becoming regular where any like video call is pretty chill and we understand our expectations around it, which then helps just the product of what you're experiencing.
Expectations are it's a big word, you know?
Yeah.
Expectations are fine, but the problem is it doesn't always lead to something positive.
Yeah.
It's kind of like creating legalism around reading our Bible. You know, I just do it because I'm supposed to, but where's the relationship? And we want to spend time with the Lord. We want to spend time with our siblings or whatever. So so how often are you going to be able to see her, like once a year? Well,
that's the hope, is that like our ideal is like once a year she comes here, once a year I go there. But it just kind of depends on obviously finances. How easy it is to travel, time off at work. She's a stay-home mom, but also like, I don't know, life can just be a little crazy. And so she was over here a lot when my mom was sick. And so I think the next one will be me going there. I'm hoping to go this summer because she just had her second daughter in September. And so I'd like to see her when she's still kind of like a little babe.
Well, I'll be praying for you that you get together this summer. I mean, there's nothing more important. I mean, obviously seeking the Lord's the first, but having that time with your sister and just, that would be really special. Would you and your husband go, or would you go alone?
I think ideally we'd love to all go. He also...
your dad?
My dad just got back. He was there for 2 months.
No kidding.
From October to December. So, I would love for Jordan and I to go. And Jordan also has a son, so I have a stepson. And so we'd love to have him come if we can make it work. But it might be that this time I maybe just go and then we try and schedule it for all of us to go the next time. We haven't talked about those details yet, but either way, I'd love to be there.
That sounds good. I'd certainly be praying for you that you get together. Hey, what verse do you go to? You know, we've lived a pretty good life so far, but life's been full of challenges and stuff. Do you have like a go-to verse that you go to maybe even during your mom's, when she was not doing well, those were really tough times. I know they were.
Yeah.
What verses did you go to? Where was the Lord speaking to you?
I would say Psalms 139 was pretty impactful about there's nowhere that I can go that will escape God's presence. And I feel like that was even in circumstances, in situations, there's nowhere, like I could go all the way to heaven and he is there. I can go to the bottom of Sheol and he is there. Like he knows me so intimately. I really think during that season of my life, from my mom's diagnosis all the way to her death, he spoke to me a lot in songs too. Doxology, man, that was my go-to. There was something about it that just hit my heart.
Explain doxology.
The song?
Yeah.
It's lyrics that say, praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise him, all creatures here below. Praise him above, ye heavenly host. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Amen.
And then it says amen.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah, see, you got it.
I mean, of course I know that. I just didn't know the name, doxology.
Yeah. And so that's one that was really great. And the Lord spoke so much through just different songs. There's a song called Yet that is pretty much this person's plea of like, God, don't give up on me yet, because like stuff is just really hard, or I keep messing up or whatever. And so that was a big one for me. So music is the way that the Lord connects to me too. But
music,
throughout the whole time, God's truth of that he's faithful and he's near was just so present. And I bet in my mom's podcast, like she talked about the Lord's peace.
Yeah.
And that is something that was unshakable. And that's what really got, I think, all of us through it, is that the Lord deposited his peace that does not make sense into our hearts and into our minds. And I explained it to some people that there's this undercurrent of peace like this, and my emotions can still go like this, but there's still a peace to draw from and to connect to, even when you're in the height of emotion. And so the Lord's faithfulness and just giving us peace and just provision, emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, he was so faithful. And that was like incredibly impactful to my walk with the Lord.
Yeah. I'll take you back a little bit. I want to hear after high school, because we're going to talk more about your mom. We're going to talk about marriage and life. After high school, what'd you do?
So I went to Shemeketa, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. At that point, I've never worked because I was just always busy with sports. So trying to get a job was really difficult. And so started going to school, and then I would nanny to make some money. And the person I nannied for, she was an attorney, and she like asked me like, hey, would you want to work at my law firm? And I was like, sure. So I became like her receptionist and just helped with a bunch of stuff. And so that was my first job. And then I just didn't know what I was doing. I was going to try and go on like dental hygiene track. I don't know why. I guess I like good smiles and good teeth, but like, I was like, I don't actually want to be in people's mouths all day. And so I was processing that with my parents, and they were like, well, drop out, work, figure out what you want to do and what you like. And I remember being so shocked because both my parents are teachers. Like, wouldn't they be pushing for me to go to college? They both graduated from college, have degrees. And so I was just shocked that they were like, you can drop out.
I love that.
But I did appreciate that because it gave me freedom to kind of explore maybe what I'd like to do. And then that's also through that season, the Lord reminded me of going to YWAM. And that was the thing that he deposited in my heart I was attracted to, like, ooh, maybe going, because at my church, we had some people go through YWAM and then speak on their experience. And whenever they did, I was like, oh, that looks so awesome. Like, it seems really cool. And so it was during that working time that the Lord, in the quiet moments at the office, he was just speaking to me of like, I have more for you. And so I was working at the law office for maybe 2 years, and then the Lord's like, time to go. So asked me to do YWAM, and he said it needs to be out of the country because I can't grow where I'm comfortable. But I felt like there was an invitation of like, I get to choose. And it's okay if something feels a little similar to home, but it's still gotta not be in the US.
Yeah.
And so I chose Australia because I've always wanted to go to Australia.
Yeah.
And that was my first time flying internationally by myself. That was my first time going international, flying by myself, being in a whole new place where I didn't know anybody.
And you're what, 20 years old now?
Yeah.
Because a couple years after you graduated, so yeah.
And so that was a big growing experience, but so good.
Do you see the Lord working through that? I mean,
100%.
Was he with you the whole time? Or obviously he was, but that you actually recognized it for the very first time.
Yeah, from that moment when I was like 18, and that moment with my mom in the middle of the night, that caught this, like, this sparked this fire in my soul of like, what is relationship with Jesus? And I then started to pay even more attention to my mom's walk, because I'm like, okay, she's a like faithful woman of Jesus, and how do I do that? And I also then got plugged into community. Growing up at Liberty, it was all salt and pepper heads.
Okay.
So it was older people. There was very little youth.
Right.
And I loved it though. I think the Lord had us there for a reason, and I can see that. But I never understood biblical community until I happened to be invited on an indoor soccer team and decided to play. And then a bunch of these people all loved Jesus, and a bunch of them went to Salem Alliance. And I didn't grow up going to Salem Alliance, but that's where I attend now. Yeah. And they invited me. And it became like a really tight-knit group of people who were doing sports together. We're hiking together. We're also going to church every Sunday together. We're having bonfires together, and we're talking about Jesus. And it was the first time I was ever around people my own age, like asking questions and wrestling with things. And that was like infectious. Yeah. And so my little like put out here, be in community, because they are going to push you and they are going to encourage you. And we are built for community and relationship. Like the Lord said, it is not good for man to be alone. He was also in relationship, like the Trinity was in relationship with each other before even creation was created. And so I think we minimize, we're an individualistic society, and we actually need to emphasize community even more. Amen. And that's where like the Lord also wants to meet us. Yeah. And I think even especially after COVID, we've all kind of isolated, and it's time to just like be back in community. Yep. Yes, you can go to church and then do your own study, but there's something about living life on mission and with Jesus together that's super impactful to your own personal walk that I don't think you can get by yourself.
Right. Hey, before you did the YWAM thing, had you ever gone on a mission trip before that?
No, I hadn't.
And I get that because you didn't accept the Lord really for your own until 18. So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So with my church growing up, like we were pretty small. So like we didn't really have those opportunities. Yeah. Again, growing up, I always believed in God, and I can look back and be like, oh, there's prophetic giftings there, because I was a kid and I would hear things from the Lord, and I'm like, I didn't recognize it as that, but it's now, once I'm older, learning, growing, maturing, that I can retrospect, be like, oh, that was the Lord downloading things to me that I shouldn't have been able to know. Yeah. When I say that, like, there was just things that I would say to certain people that were like incredibly impactful, and get this like response that I was like, oh, like, well, I was just journaling and laying on the ground in my room and drawing, and the Lord spoke this to me, and I felt like I needed my mom to text you this, and it was just so impactful and timely. And I'm like, oh, that's the Lord's like gifting on me, depositing that. So still had a relationship with Jesus as a child, but didn't really know how to get deeper in relationship with him until later. Yeah. And so that call to do YWAM was an act of obedience, and it made me really uncomfortable. But through that community that I had made with my like indoor soccer team, that's something that they talked about. Is like, you have to be uncomfortable to grow. You can't just be stagnant. and be comfortable all the time. Like, you should be rubbing shoulders with people that you don't always agree with or that you don't see eye to eye with, because there's something valuable to learn and to grow from. And so YWAM was a big step. Made me really nervous, but so excited. And I tend to be pretty shy initially, like when I meet new people. I'm an extrovert. I love being outgoing.
I've never had a shy extrovert, but that's interesting. Okay.
But my mom would probably say the same thing, even though we all look at her and we're like, what are you talking about? But like internally, I don't like small talk. I feel uncomfortable. I would rather you pursue and try to talk to me than me try to talk to you. If I'm in a room with strangers, I'll probably try and keep to myself. And so the Lord with YWAM told me, once you land, you are going to go up to every single person and introduce yourself, and you're going to say hi. Okay.
Totally uncomfortable.
That seems like, that shouldn't be an issue. That was really hard for me then to be like, here's all these people that I don't know, who like some of them know each other. I'm like the new person coming in for the new school. Staff is there. Obviously, they're all welcoming, but there's still that insecurity in you of like, oh gosh, how is this going to turn out? So that's just where the Lord just started pushing me a lot.
But you were obedient. I mean, that's what I'm hearing, is that you're willing to do what the Lord said to do. You feel that conviction.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I think when you walk in obedience, there's more growth that you'll experience. And that's something I'm really passionate about. I feel like we all should be growing and becoming better versions of ourselves. And again, we can only do that when we step out and be obedient and be uncomfortable.
Yeah. And we're Americans, though. We love comfort, man.
Yeah.
We want the easy life, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
But there's no joy in that. Honestly, if it's just about me, it's pretty pathetic. There's no joy.
There could be fake joy, you know, or like happiness.
Or temporary happiness, you know, like, sure, but fulfillment, it comes from, like I said, rubbing shoulders, obedience, rubbing shoulders, being part of your community, serving people. Yeah. So that's true joy.
Yeah, I agree.
That's so awesome. All right, so life progressed. You eventually, what happened after, YWAM? You came back. What'd you do for work, and what's life looking like from there to where you're at today?
So I did YWAM, my DTS, and then I got back. And at the time, I was dating my ex-husband, and he was also on his DTS. I was gone from September to July, and he was gone from January to June. Okay. So we were long distance for quite a while. Yeah. And then we got back, and we both felt called to do this secondary school. So we went and did that together in Maui. And then once we got back, we got married. And,
so it was around 2017, 18?
We got married in 2019.
Oh, 19? Okay.
But we were dating about like 4 years before that.
Got it.
And then we were married for 4 years.
Okay.
And so that was a big part of my life. And coming back from my DTS, I guess backing up a little bit, the Lord told me he wanted me on the plane back home. I asked him, what do you want me to do? And he's like, I want you to be in contact with people every day, strangers that you don't know, and just be the light of Jesus. I'm like, be the light.
Be the light of Jesus.
And so I was like, okay, Lord. And there's something about me getting jobs that I don't ever really look for the job. A door just opens. Yeah. Like genuinely. And so now she's like one of my best friends. She owns a restaurant. Yeah. And she asked me to I had friends that worked there, and they were like, hey, you should really hire this person. She's awesome. And so I met with her, and she's like, oh yeah, we'd love to have you on the team. So I worked at Better Than Mamas for a little bit.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And again, not what I expected, but felt like the doors were opening. It was a place where I'm interfacing with so many people every day. And so I did that for a bit. And then, I went back and did my secondary school. Okay. Again, with my ex. And then we came back. And at that point, I went back and worked at Better Than Mamas a little bit. And then I thought I was wanting to go possibly in the nursing field. I'm really passionate about helping people. That's just who I've always been. That's how the Lord has designed me. And I really thought even throughout high school, I'd do something medical. That's why I took all the medical classes I could. I did Shemaiah classes in high school because I thought that's the road I was maybe going to take.
Yeah.
And so I thought it would be a good opportunity to maybe put my feet in the medical field. So I started working at Salem Clinic and just get around, like, is that an environment that I'd even want to be around? But then when I was back from my secondary school, the Lord said, I want you to apply for RTI, which is Reach Training Institute, which now is rebranded and renamed to Missio College. It's a school that Salem Alliance created to help people graduate field ready and debt free. And I remember that vividly. I was in the back of the kitchen at Better Than Mama's, and he said that to me. And I was like, okay, sure. And he's like, it's going to equip you for what's next. I was like, okay, what's next? I'm a planner.
Come on, Lord.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Give me the deets.
He doesn't always do that, though.
No, it's so frustrating. Something I brought up to him plenty of times.
Lord,
I'm like, hey.
on. But that's how he works. If
exactly.
you know the plans, then maybe we don't need the faith that requires us just to trust the Lord. Would you say that's true? That there's an element of faith that he's trying to extract from you or give you, and go like, just be patient and have faith.
Yeah. 100%.
I know what I'm doing. I'm God.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So I applied for RTI at the time, did my interview, got accepted. But then I was going to start the fall of 2019. And so that's when we were getting married, my ex and I. My parents were moving to Uganda to be missionaries.
Yeah.
I was moving homes. I started a new job at Salem Clinic. And I felt like the Lord was like, not yet. And I'm somebody who has a natural tendency to overstretch myself because I want to do everything. Yeah. And I love doing everything. Yeah. But I felt like he was saying, I want you to do it well. And first, let's get your feet under you, as there's a ton of transition in your life. So I then withdrew my application to RTI. And I just was working for a couple years. And once the Lord brought it back up, my ex-husband and I both started school together. Okay. He kind of encouraged him to take that step too, because we both kind of felt a call to the nations, like through YWAM, like, oh, there's a heart for ministry here too. So even while I'm like trying to sort out, like, do I want to be in the medical field? But there's also this heart of like, okay, Lord, there's something about ministry that I'm drawn to. Yeah. How do I reconcile these things? And so then I started going to Missio, and it was my freshman year where some really hard stuff in my marriage was happening. Again, I want to be protective of him, but things that don't normally happen in marriage were happening, and a healthy marriage would not be happening. And that was wrestling through that the first year. And then he also was struggling a lot with depression. And I'm a fixer, I'm a helper. So I'm also trying to I love helping. So like I'm trying to figure out, how do I help my husband at the time? And then learning I'm actually overstepping and I'm enabling, and I'm okay, how do we sort through this? There's a lot of hurt. There's this stuff. And then our sophomore year, he ends up dropping out after fall term. And he's also having his own wrestling with the Lord of, I think he had a lot of anger at God for just some stuff that he was wrestling with and struggling with. And at the same time, my mom was then diagnosed. I got a call early in the morning because they were in Uganda.
That was 2020?
That was 2022.
22. Okay. Yeah, 22.
Man, time
flies.
is, so sorry if my dates are wrong.
No, I was trying to track with you, but I think I remember.
It's around, and so I got a call early in the morning, and she was having like stomach issues for quite a while.
Wasn't she in Uganda at the time?
Yeah, they were missionaries over there.
Not the best place in the world to be necessarily.
Hey, they still took care of her so well. Yeah. And like, again, her doctor was fantastic. And the medical services that she got was like, honestly, sometimes better than here. So, but yeah, she was having stomach issues, and then she had her colonoscopy 9 months earlier, and it was totally clean and it was fine. And then 9 months later, she's having more stomach issues, and she's really not feeling good. And she goes into the town where they can see her doctor, and they literally can feel a lump from the outside. And they do another colonoscopy and endoscopy. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Sorry if I didn't.
Yeah.
But they then realized she had a tumor so big that like only really liquid could pass.
Yeah.
And so that's when they called me, and the doctor was like, did some scans, and they were like, you got colon cancer.
And this is the first time you're hearing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, 4:00 in the morning, like, because again, time change, like they wanted to call me and let me know immediately, because they also were instructed they need to get to Kenya, because that's where the only PET scan in East Africa is. And that's where there's a surgeon that can take care of it.
So your phone rings at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was really hard. It's maybe 4 or 5. Because at the time my sister-in-law was living there and she was awake getting ready. So it must have been maybe a little bit earlier in the morning, but or later in the morning. But that was really big and scary. And in 2000, I lost my grandparents in the span of 6 months. My mom's parents and my dad's mom, I believe. And from that point, there was a fear of death and losing your people.
Yeah.
And so that phone call triggers little Emily, where I was really scared, like as a kid, that like I wouldn't go to sleep. I would like stay up and I'd ask my parents, like, can I come downstairs? Like, I'm so scared that you guys are going to die. And they're like, we're okay. We're okay. Because again, I just experienced losing my grandpa and then my grandma and like all this stuff. And so that phone call, adult Emily's like, okay, we're okay. But little Emily is screaming inside. She's like, this is my worst nightmare. I hate this. I can't do anything. And so that was really hard, as you would imagine. And then so she gets over to Kenya and has emergency surgery, and they try to do that. And then we get flown out to Kenya to go be with her. Wow. My ex-husband came with me for a week. And then I was there for like a couple months, I believe. Again, time feels like, how long was that?
Yeah.
But so then I was able to be with them for a while and then went back home. I was then working at Eula Hills as the event and hospitality manager.
Really?
And our GM was super gracious and was like, yes, go be with your mom. Like, you need to be with your family. That's more important. Right. So I really appreciate that for that opportunity to spend with them. And even while that was all happening, stuff in my marriage was really difficult. Again, there was like some emotional affairs going on, and that was going on for 9 months that I knew of. And again, he wouldn't say that's what was happening, but that's what our counselor was saying. That's what everybody else was saying. And so all while wrestling with this stuff that's been going on for a while, and some like addiction behaviors, when I was in Uganda with my parents, because I flew with them from Kenya back to Uganda to help her get settled. And I obviously wanted to tell my parents all that was happening. And while they were gone, they knew things were hard, but there was a level of like, I want to be face to face when I say some of the stuff that I'm like going through. And so I finally got that opportunity to sit with my parents in their living room, and mom's recovering, and I just start spilling everything. Like, this has been really hard. Like, you know this, but here's like more of the details. And I tell them, I was like, I want you to know that I'm not sure if I'm going to be married by the end of this year. And I was like, it's not because I don't want it. I just see the direction of what he's choosing, and I'll be faithful and I'll still like press in. But this is really hard. And like, that was really hard to say to my parents. They were married for so long. They like, I think it was 38 years. I had an example, like I saw it. And there's a part of my own disappointment of like, I've always wanted to be like them. So I was coming across that and my own shame of like, I'm in a Christian community and I'm going to possibly get divorced. Like, that's hard. Like, what does God say about it? What does it almost feels like this like sign above your head. But I was like, it's not going to be my decision if it happens, because I'm going to stick it out. And so I get back and stuff was happening when I was gone, and that was really difficult to come back to. And we brought some leaders at our church, Salem Alliance, to walk with us, and I'm really grateful for them and their wisdom and their prayer. And throughout my marriage, when it was really difficult, I would pray, Lord, give me your heart and your eyes for this man, because I don't have it right now. He's hurt me so much that like I don't want to love him and I don't want to be nice, but God, you call me to. And like, how do I have strength in like boundaries and standing up for myself while also being loving and understanding? And I'm somebody who probably errs more on the side of too much grace, if you could have that, where it almost then was not standing up for myself because I was trying to be understanding and graceful. And that's something my counselor was like, hey, put your boundary. And if there's a boundary that's crossed, you got to like stick with the consequence. But again, just kept praying that prayer, like, Lord, give me your heart and your eyes. And the Lord always gave it to me. He always established new heart and new vision, gave me new understanding, new drive and perseverance to just keep pressing in and trying to love him. And then eventually, our marriage really just then kind of crumbled, and he asked me for a divorce, and that was really hard. And we were sad. Like, there was a part of him that didn't, was suffering too. Yeah. Again, I believe he's still such a good guy. I think he was wrestling a lot with this brokenness, and I really hope that he finds healing in those areas, because he's got so much potential to be like a solid guy. And so even after that conversation, I go to one of my best friend's house and I'm just processing with her. And at the end, I feel relief and I feel peace. Again, this undercurrent of peace, it's always there. The emotions are up here. Peace is always here. And I'm like, okay, Lord, you got me. And I go home that night and I just say, Lord, if this is another opportunity for me to lean in and to love this man, give me your heart and give me your eyes for him. And he didn't. That's the only time the Lord never answered that prayer. And I believe he was saying, Emily, you've been faithful. Your covenant has been broken long before today. The choices that were made against you broke stuff. You don't need to like hold yourself to that anymore. And so that was hard, but good. And again, I said, Jesus, for me to move through this, I need to sleep. I need sleep because I'm the person who's staying up. I'm thinking through, okay, how can I solve this? How can I fix this? What do I do? Every single night, I slept like a baby. And it's just the Lord's answering of my simple prayer of like, for me to move through this, my body and my mind needs rest. Yeah. And I need you to supply it because I know my natural tendency is to spin in circles. And he did. And again, kept giving me peace, even when it didn't make sense. Again, and all while that's happening, my mom's still sick and my mom's still struggling, and I'm going to school and I'm working more than full time. And that season of my life, I called it, I was surviving, not thriving. And I was like, okay, Lord, it's time to not just survive. It's time to thrive. And again, so thankful for my community who carried me, who made themselves available. My people were interruptible. I knew I could call them and say, I need to go on a walk. I love walks. I need to walk and talk. Okay, come over. Let's walk. Where do you want to meet? Riverfront, let's go. They were so interruptible. And I feel like they were being Jesus like that. Jesus was interruptible. He's going off and then the woman touches his cloak. Yeah. He stops. Yeah. He doesn't just keep going. And he turns and restores identity and dignity to her by calling her by her name. And then he heals her. And I feel like my community, my friends, and my family were that to me. Yeah. And I never felt like a burden. I felt so supported. And that was incredibly impactful and healing to my heart and my soul and my mind and my nervous system. Because we are holistic people, and all of that stuff affects your body too. And so that was very, very impactful.
I think about the verse real quick, just Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, I'll give you rest. Mm-hmm. We need Jesus's rest.
Yeah.
On our own, we try to fix things that God never designed us to fix. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's part of the whole message here. What I'm hearing is you wanted to save your marriage. You had the right heart, mm-hmm. and you're only part of the equation.
Yep.
And God said, no longer.
Yeah.
You're free to move on and do your thing.
Yeah.
But it's looking back, what would you say the one thing is? How do you describe that in maybe a sentence? How did God work through that? What was the lesson?
Again, the thing that comes to mind is his faithfulness. He's faithful to be with you. In my unfaithful marriage, he was faithful. In my own brokenness and struggles, he was faithful to love me and to see me and support me. I think I just had a greater awareness of his presence. And, when my mom was near death, I asked her, and I have it on recording, I was like, hey, what are some of the things you're most proud of me about? And she goes, the way you handled your divorce, and in hard times, she's like, you are somebody who always presses into Jesus. Some people let it push them away, but you always lean in really hard. And I think, again, in some moments of hard and trouble, I'm almost now grateful for it, because I always feel nearer and closer to the Lord, because my self-sufficiency goes out the window.
Oh, man.
And my dependence on the Lord is required. Not just, I can. No, I need to depend on the Lord.
Ooh.
So,
I was going to say, nobody prays for, hey, Lord, bring me a hard time. But I think the more we mature in Christ, I've heard this recently, where we look back, we go, hard things happen in our life. Divorce, bankruptcy, death, whatever it is. I think nobody would go back and actually change that, because I've had hard times too. We've all had hard times.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change anything, because God made me who I am through the hard time. And I heard somebody say recently, I actually pray for brokenness. Lord, break me. I wonder if that's what Paul was praying, not
break my self-sufficiency.
Break my self-sufficiency, because we're self-sufficient, man. Me, myself, and I, the Trinity itself is what I make that joke, look at me.
Yeah.
No. I can do nothing apart from him.
Yeah. And there's something, some lingo that Salem Alliance has communicated. During all of this, we were doing a series on Job.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Hello.
He spoke to me a lot through the sermons. But they were emphasizing we need to have a solid theology of suffering to be able to understand a full theology of healing. We need to know how to suffer and suffer well to be then able to embrace healing. I also think, and this is just my own thoughts, is we can obviously the Lord can do anything he wants.
Yes, he can.
But I do think we have participation in how much do we want to allow ourselves to be open to the Lord? And almost the skill that we're willing to be open is the amount that he can heal. Obviously, again, this will like break down because he could do whatever he wants. Right. But I do think our own openness of like, hey, God, this is where I'm hurting. Here's all of it. I'm laying it out to you. He has like the access in our hearts. We can quench the spirit.
Yes, we can.
It says
we
that.
Do well, not,
don't quench the spirit. So let's be open to him and let him in to all those things so then he can bring healing to all those places in our hearts. Because I think things that I'm not as more open or not as transparent or real about, it's going to be harder for God to get in there because we have our own self-protection up.
Well, before I do the podcast on each one, I didn't always do it at the beginning, but now I always pray, Lord, help us to be transparent and vulnerable to you, to your Spirit in our lives. Because I think you're right. We can block up part of our heart and like, no, Lord, I've got this. Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't. The more I'm open and the more I grow, the more I realize, here I am, Lord. You know all things about me anyway. Yeah. There's nothing that's hidden from you. So what is that?
We're all broken anyways.
I'm broken.
Let's pretend we're not.
Right. Look, I'm broken. I love that Paul said, among sinners, I am chief. Paul hadn't met us. We're all sinners. We all fall short. We all need God's grace. So
yeah,
I know that was a hard time to go through. Thanks for sharing that about that. Tell me, you went through a divorce. You're probably single for a little while.
Yeah.
And then you met a guy.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Who's this guy? I don't know him.
Yeah, Jordan.
So how'd you meet him? Well, first of all, how long were you single?
Okay.
What was God speaking to you? How was he restoring your heart to prepare for the opportunity to get married again?
Yeah.
He did.
I'll kind of just share what's on my mind right now. Please. If I get off track and you're like, hey, get this question.
No.
Remind me.
This is your show and you're sharing your heart.
So after my divorce, I was struggling with like, did I just blow my shot? Was that my one and only shot? And the Lord walked with me through the grieving process of my divorce. I also was grieving through friends and like my counselor. I realized I actually was grieving my marriage and my divorce even before it happened. It was probably a whole year before that I like was coming to terms that like, if I'm seeing the graph right, if it's still going at this speed, this is where it's going to end up. And so there was a part of grievance that was already happening even in the last year of my marriage. That doesn't mean I wasn't still in it. It just was, I'm going to sit in the reality that my marriage is failing. I still have hope that God can redeem and that God can heal, but I also need to feel the weight of my current reality and come face to face with it. And so I was grieving that for a while, the year before our marriage ended. And then it was probably another 6-7 months I was still processing. And, time. What is it? I don't remember how far after.
Yeah.
I think it was probably 6 months after the official split.
Yeah.
I was, again, lamenting to the Lord. Like, God wants to hear our honest lament. He doesn't want it to be sugar-coated. If you want to drop curse words, drop curse words, if that's what you need to do to get it out. And I was just being very honest with the Lord. Like, I feel like I get a lot of images from God, and I, like, kind of communicate sometimes in images with him. And I was like, I feel like I was on this board game, and I'm going along in this 8-year relationship with my ex-husband. And I get to a spot, and it's like, you got to roll the dice to like keep moving. And the next spot that I'm near says, go back to home. And so I'm like, okay, I need to get anything but a 1. That's good chances. I'm not going to get a 1. So I roll and I get a 1. And my divorce, like, I go all the way back to home, back to the start. And I was like, God, what? I poured my heart and my soul, everything into that. Yes, God, you taught me things. You showed up for me. I learned about you. But this sucks. This sucks that I worked so hard and was so diligent and faithful, and it still failed. And now I feel like I'm back at the start where, I've always wanted to be a wife and a mom, and I just was grieving that, where I was like, did I lose my chance? Is this even a thing? And just being honest with him about it. And while I was praying, I didn't tell anybody this for quite a while. I wrote it in my journal, still there today if you want to look at it. I'm praying about it, and the Lord says, you'll know in July. I'll know in July? Okay. Know what? Like, I'll know I'll, like, someday be married again? Will I know the person? Like, what? I don't know. But in my heart, the impression that I had was, I'll know who that is. And I didn't, and at the time I was like, okay, is that my own heart desire? Is that my own thoughts? Is that, we're always wrestling, like, was this God, was this me? But like, I knew it was God. Like, I know his voice. I've been attuned to his voice for so many years at this point. I can trust that I know your voice, but it's something that feels so personal that I'm like, God, like, is that wishful thinking? So I just hold on to it. That April, one of my best friends and my sister both are like, you need to put yourself out there. And they're like, and my counselor, I've even was like, am I even ready to like put myself out there? Like, do I need to grieve more? Like, I wanted to do a thorough work within my heart because I was like, I don't want to like pretend anything. I'm somebody who's like, let's face the music head on. Let's deal with it because I don't want it popping back up later. And through affirmations of my community, my family, of my counselor, of mentors, they're like, no, you've grieved well.
Yeah.
You have not held back. And because I was like, would this be unhealthy? Is this too soon? The timelines, all the expectations of like when things are okay to move on. I don't know. Everybody's grieving and process is different. But that's something you're wrestling with. Like, okay, what are people going to think? And so they're like, my friends are like, you should try and go on some dates. And I'm like, how the heck do I do that? They're like, you should just get a dating app. I don't want to go on a dating app, but I guess this is how you guys do it these days. So why not? Like, my mindset was, let's just get out there, meet some people, be confident in who I am again. Because obviously self-esteem like was crushed. Rebuilding, be nitpicky. Because I think I did compromise in some ways previously. Whether I knew it or not, there are probably deep pieces in my heart that I knew like, oh, I wanted something a little different before being married. But again, I fall on the side of grace and understanding and like, oh, well, you don't need to be perfect. That's the whole wrestling. So I start doing that. At the time, I'm doing my residency at school at Valley Church, which is a church plant here in Salem. And Jordan goes there. And Jordan and I also went to high school together. So he was a year older than me.
So you're just right.
Yep. And then like, I think one of his brothers might've been in M's class too. Your M's.
Yeah.
And, so I start going there and like, I'm preaching and helping. And like the first Sunday I'm there, I'm like, I don't know anybody, but I recognize Jordan from school. So this was like earlier in the year. Okay. I know I was just on April-ish timeline, but we're going back to September.
Right.
I've never talked to him. I knew him. I had mutual friends. But like I never really interacted. But shy Emily again. I don't like being in new places with new people. I'm like, okay, he's the one person I would maybe know. I'll just say hi. I can say hi, right? To a stranger. We're walking by each other. I think, we argue this, I think I said hi loud enough for him to hear. He does not even acknowledge me.
It's like, what?
Walks back. And I'm like, okay, well, now I feel really awkward, so I'm going to pretend like I don't know you. And we didn't go to high school together. You're a total random person. So I don't talk to him at all. And he swears he didn't hear me. And I was like, that could be, I do get shy. And I might have been like, hi. To me, that was loud, okay?
You said it in your mind, but not out loud.
I know. But fast forward, I guess like that March, he kind of had his eye on me.
Okay.
He also is divorced.
Okay.
At that point, I think he was divorced for 2-ish years. And he had his eye on me, but he's like, I don't know. Like I shared in my sermon that fall that I went through a divorce. And so he's like, I don't know if she's ready. I'm not going to like make that move. But we're kind of like eyeing each other without knowing that we're eyeing each other kind of throughout. And I'm just like a little curious about this guy. Like we went to school together and you seem fun but I'm going to stand my distance. I'm not going to put myself out there. Well, so I'm on these dating apps, right? And he pops up. And I'm like, well, I want to swipe right.
Yeah.
But I still have like a few months of my residency. that's going to be super awkward if you reject me.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to swipe left because I don't want him to disappear. I don't want the algorithm to say, you don't want somebody like him. No, I want to go on a date with him, but so I just exit out.
Oh, okay, good. You have to pick either one.
And he did the same thing.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I want to swipe right, but I want to ask her in person. But he didn't want to swipe left to get rid of me.
Yeah.
So he works up the courage and he's like, I'm going to ask her out. And this is in June. It's my last sermon that I'm preaching. And then I had to go to Salem Alliance like immediately. Church at Valley's in the evening.
Okay.
And so I was like helping with a worship night. So I just had to like turn around and like go. And so I preach. He finally mustered up the courage. He's going to go up to me, but I'm like running out of the church.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'll just wait till next week. Well, little did he know, I'm not coming back. That was my last day of my residency. So the next few weeks, he's waiting. It's now July. He's like, where the heck is this girl? At that point, July, my mom was back in the hospital. We were friends on social media because everybody in high school, we were like the age where like social media really was coming out. So you were friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So like we happened to still be friends on social media.
Too funny.
And so he saw like a story I posted about my mom and just asking for prayers. And he genuinely was just reaching out to say, hey, praying. And then he asked like a question about it. No intention of like it going anywhere from that conversation. And I'm like, oh.
You were hoping something would happen.
Yeah, a little bit. And he like messages me and we're kind of messaging back and forth. And I'm like, I messaged my sister. I'm like, guess who I'm talking to right now? She's like, who? I was like, Jordan Scheuble. She's like, what? And she's like, is he even a good guy? She like had a bad impression from him from high school. And I was like, no, he seems great. Like, what are you talking about?
He's great.
And then throughout that conversation, like by the end of it, like something just clicked. And then he was like, hey, would you want to go on a date with me? And I was like, sure.
Uh-huh.
So then that following Monday or something, we went on a date, first date in July. And he picks me up and has flowers in a vase.
Wow.
So note to the men out there.
Hey, men, pay attention here.
He arranged a flower bouquet. Like it wasn't just the bag, that you get from Trader Joe's, which that's still very sweet. Like that's a good thing. But like he had a vase and like arranged it. I was like, that's effort. Like
that's a new level, guys.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I see you.
Okay.
So he picks me up and then we go out to Lively Station for dinner. And we're just talking. Well, he's more introverted than I. Like I'm an extrovert, so I talked a lot, but he listened really well.
Yeah. This is good.
And there was just something that like made sense. And I think from the start, we just had all the hard conversations. We were like, what? Okay, we're both divorced. So what was your part in the failure of your marriage?
That's a great question. What was your part?
Yeah. And what do you want? And kids and all the things. Like, let's just talk about it. We're at like
date one.
Yeah, we start talking about not all of that, but yeah, faith. What does faith look like?
Yeah.
We definitely talked about our divorces and our experiences in that. And then like date 2, I think was like, well, I'll get to that. But then we went to Taproot because Lively Station was closed. Yeah. So, and we're like, we don't want to stop hanging out. And I explained it to people. Like we both knew like this was different. And I explained it to people. I was like, kids, there's like kids puzzles that have like the wooden outline and it all fits in there. It's like if my eyes were shut and like I took his puzzle piece and I was like this and it just like drops in. Like it just goes there. Yeah. You don't think about it because that just makes sense. And that's how I felt about us. Yeah. And him. It just makes sense. I got to be honest. I don't think I asked the Lord, is this the right guy for me? It just made sense. Yeah. And there was a peace and just affirmations around it all. And then like our second date, I think was my mom was in the hospital still and we were told she's going on hospice. So he picks me up from the hospital and we go on a walk at Minto. And I'm just crying.
Yeah.
Buddy's there.
This was date 2?
Yeah. And then we ended up going to my parents' house and he helped me move the furniture in our living room so then the hospice bed could get delivered. And that's just, he is so servant-hearted and he cares so deeply and loves really well. And like you saw that instantly.
Yeah.
And he's a giver.
Wow.
I'm also a giver, so it's nice because we're both like always pouring in our cups.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And then, third date, I think we went out to eat again and it just was us.
Yeah.
And then, before my mom was released, we were told they expected her to have like maybe a week left. But she didn't know that, but we were told that.
So this is in really a week or so before she did pass.
My mom is resilient, so she still lived for 2 months.
Okay, so this is in June, July.
Or July.
July,
that's right,
August.
Right. Or so like a month and a half.
Yeah. I get you.
And so I asked my mom, we always hosted parties.
Yeah.
I was like, you want to throw one more party?
One more party.
She's like, yeah, let's do it. So it's our hospice open house party. And about 250 people probably showed up. But in preparation for that, we were doing it outside. And with caring for my mom, my parents have a big yard. And we just didn't have the energy to like care for it as much. Mm-hmm. And she's had friends who like, oh my gosh, we were blessed. Like so many people would come and like help take care of our house, clean our house, do some of the yard work. But at this point, it was a little bit, it's been a bit since people came and helped. And so Jordan just volunteers to come over and he's just weeding and taking care of the patio area. He just has his headphones in. He's not there to just like hang out with me. He's here to serve.
Yeah.
And that spoke volumes of his character and who he is. And so that kind of is how it all started. Yeah. And then I remember, it's July. Because that was like, again, back of my head, in my journal, not telling people about it.
July.
I'm not clinging to it, but it's there.
That is weird.
And
I forgot you even talked about July. It's July.
Yeah. And he said, I'll know in July. And there's something about just being with Jordan. I knew. And he also knew it. He was telling his mom about it. And he's like, Mom, I think she might be like the real deal. And so she's like, if that's the case, this is a one in a lifetime moment. Yeah. Can I meet her mom?
Yeah.
And so she comes and prays over my mom and meets my mom. And my mom said, as I'm processing stuff about Jordan, she's like, I have a good feeling about this. And that's also really sweet because she didn't get to know that we were engaged or that we got married, but she knew, she had a feeling that this was a good one.
Yeah.
And that's really sweet.
What day did you guys get married?
August 16th.
So just like a few months ago.
Yeah. And
okay, so you're just newly married.
Yeah. And we chose August 16th because that was my parents' wedding anniversary.
You got married on your mom and dad's wedding anniversary?
Yeah, in Central Oregon.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
You guys got married in Central Oregon? Mm-hmm. Where at?
Sparks Lake.
Up behind Bachelor?
And the sisters, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the sisters
from
it.
You can see, yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Wow.
So that was really sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Lord's complete redemption. And that's something that in that season of my life, in our year of dating before we got married, like I saw the Lord's hand in redemption all over our life and for both of us and in healing and also like I never thought I'd be a stepmom.
Yeah.
But also going back to that January prayer, God, I always want to be a wife and a mom.
Yeah.
Well, here I get to be a wife and a mom.
Yeah.
Like instantly, which is a blessing. And it brings its own little challenges too.
Sure.
But, God, you saw and you heard me.
Man.
And it's been really, really sweet.
I mean, brokenness is beautiful, quite honestly. Mm-hmm. I mean, if your life was just perfect and everything you did was just perfect, well, I couldn't see Jesus in that. But through the brokenness, I see Jesus, the light of Jesus come shining through.
Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, and it's his testimony.
Yeah, working through you.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is a test that becomes a testimony, his testimony in your life. So, well, we could probably go for another hour, I'm pretty sure. We may do this again at some point in time down the road, but we're going to sign off.
Sounds good.
And yeah, just
Thanks
get
for
ready
having me.
no, thanks for being here. Thanks for being willing to. My wife, Sean, and I got to meet with your dad and mom before she passed. And I had asked your mom to be on the podcast, and she said, let me pray about that. I'll get back to you. Finally, she goes, I'm in. I'm like, praise the Lord. It was just a beautiful time with your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. How's your dad doing, by the way, just before I close out?
I think he's doing as good as someone who's lost their person can do.
Yeah,
he was with her for over 38 years. Yeah. They dated. They argued that they didn't ever date. They just got married. But
liars.
I'm like, oh my goodness. But dated. They were around each other for so long. And so I think he is transitioning and figuring out his new normal. But I'm really proud of him and how he's just trying to keep moving on and also still grieve when he needs to grieve and celebrate when he celebrates. And I'm really proud of him. So,
hey, one final question. Who do you think would like to be on this podcast? Maybe share their story. They have a testimony. By the way, we all have a testimony. Sometimes people don't want to share it. Sometimes people do. Sometimes I always ask that people pray about it. And if you don't know, that's okay. But be praying about somebody who you think might be good on the podcast just to share their heart.
Yeah.
So think about that. You don't have to even answer right now, but unless you go, I know this person, it doesn't matter. But,
my first thought is Amy McGrath.
Okay.
She's a pastor at Salem Alliance. Okay. She has a really awesome story and just even how she's our pastor of special needs. Yeah. And how the Lord has just deposited passion for this community and how we need to make our churches accessible and approachable for that community. And it's so fun listening to her heart, and she's just on fire. And again, her own personal testimony is also just really neat.
Okay.
So,
well, connect us if you don't mind. Just a text and we'll connect. And I really appreciate that. But, well, hey, thank you so much for being here this week and every week. Emily poured her heart out, and I hope you guys received that. God is good, even in the brokenness. And the new year's upon us. I hope you have great goals. And if you ever want to reach out and just have coffee, be on the podcast, pray about it. I'd love to chat with you. And we will see you next week. Thank you, Emily. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.